It was once a place that I will name the town of Whispers Hollow. In the distance, the town of Whispers Hollow appeared as nothing more than a smudge against the horizon, a shadow beneath the looming twilight. I was warned to avoid it, told it was abandoned after a disaster nobody would explain, yet the journalist in me couldn't resist. This story could make my career, if only I could uncover the truth of the silence that had swallowed a whole town. As I drove closer, the once clear radio signals turned to static, and the GPS blinked before going dark. Technology seemed futile here, reluctant to penetrate the town's mysterious veil. I parked at what looked like the town's boundary, where a faded wooden sign read, "Whispers Hollow." With a deep breath, I stepped out into the cooling air of dusk, my boots crunching on gravel. The town lay before me, streets winding into the shadows of dilapidated buildings and homes that bore the scars of rapid desertion. Windows stared like hollow eyes, and doors creaked on rusted hinges, swaying gently as if breathing the stale air of forgotten stories.
I began walking, my handheld recorder at the ready. October 15th, I started, speaking into the microphone. Investigation into Whispers Hollow, the town that silence claimed. Local legends speak of a curse, voices stolen mid-sentence, and lives cut short in whispering winds. The deeper I ventured, the thicker the fog became. It swirled around my legs like living tendrils, pulling me towards the heart of the town, to the old library, a building surprisingly less decayed than the rest. It stood solemn and inviting, its doors parted slightly as if expecting me.
Inside, the air was thick with mold and old paper. Rows of books, their spines cracked and faded, filled the space. I wandered between the aisles, flashlight beam dancing over titles that hinted at the town's once vibrant life. It was in the history section that I found it, a leather-bound journal titled The Truth of Whispers Hollow. Hands trembling, I opened the journal to the last entry, dated when the town fell silent. The handwriting was rushed, almost frantic. "It comes with the fog," the entry read, "a creature of the mist. We thought it a myth, a tale to frighten children. But it's real, and it's here. It feeds on sound, on voice, on life. We tried to appease it, quiet our town, and stop it from taking more. But silence wasn't enough." The town whole. A chill wind whipped through the empty streets as I approached, carrying an eerie hush. The once vibrant homes now stood derelict, their windows shattered like fractured memories. I cautiously stepped over broken shards, my footsteps echoing in the desolation. A gust of wind whispered secrets in my ear, as if the town yearned to reveal its hidden horrors. Heart pounding, I pushed forward, determined to unravel the enigma of Whispers Hollow. The silence was suffocating, pressing down on me like a heavy shroud. I wondered what unspeakable tragedy had befallen this place, leaving it a ghostly remnant of what it once was. My camera clicked, capturing the abandoned playground, its swing set swaying with an eerie rhythm. Suddenly, a faint whisper tickled my ears. I froze, straining to catch the words carried by the wind. It was a voice, fragile yet insistent, pleading to be heard. My pulse quickened as I followed the sound, my journalistic instincts overpowering my fear. Through the maze of dilapidated buildings, I stumbled upon a hidden cellar door, partially ajar. A sliver of light beckoned, casting long shadows on the decaying floorboards. I pushed it open with a trembling hand, my heart pounding like a war drum. The truth awaited me in that dimly lit chamber, where a covert gathering had taken refuge from the world above. Eyes widened with fear and met mine, their whispers growing louder. They were the survivors, the forgotten ones who had been left behind. Their stories poured forth like a torrential downpour, revealing a catastrophic event that had silenced Whispers Hollow. It wasn't a disaster of nature, but a man-made catastrophe, a secret experiment gone awry. The government had abandoned the town, leaving its inhabitants to bear the burden of their sins. I captured their tales, the evidence of their suffering etched upon their faces. The truth, raw and unfiltered, would be my legacy. As I emerged from the darkness, I knew that my career would skyrocket, but more importantly, I knew that I would finally hear the voices of Whispers Hollow. These voices, long suppressed and ignored, would now have a chance to be heard and acknowledged. Through my documentation, I aimed to expose the government's negligence and bring justice to the people of Whispers Hollow. By unveiling the secrets and shedding light on the man-made catastrophe, I hope to restore hope and rebuild the broken community, ensuring that such a tragedy would never be repeated. And so I left the town behind, carrying their stories with me. The smudge on the horizon grew more minor, but its impact on me would be everlasting. Whispers Hollow may have been swallowed by silence, but its secrets would resonate in the hearts and minds of those who dared to listen. A cold draft swept through the library, the journal pages fluttering as if in a warning. The silence deepened, oppressive, alive. I realized then that the fog was seeping indoors, encroaching with purpose. Heart racing, I pocketed the journal and turned to leave, but the library door creaked shut on its own. In the dim light, figures formed in the mist, silhouettes of those who once lived here, their mouths open in silent screams, reaching out. I ran, dodging through the aisles, the fog curling around my ankles, trying to slow me. Bursting out of the library, I didn't stop to look back. The town seemed darker now, the fog thicker, as if night had descended in the blink of an eye. As I approached my car, the radio's static crackled to life. A ghostly, distant voice spoke through the white noise. Leave, and never return. I drove away from Whispers Hollow, the journal beside me. Even now, miles away, I can hear it, faintly as if from a great distance, the sound of a town swallowed by silence, warning me of the truth too dreadful to speak aloud.